Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Andrea, and today I'm going to teach you how we can create a lead generation chatbot inside of Manychat on our Instagram DMs. This lead generation chatbot can be used to send freebies, to get people to register to your challenges, your workshops, your masterclasses, your summits, your live virtual events, and even your in-person events. So I'm going to show my screen and I'm going to show you how we can create and collect data so that your leads can register directly on your Instagram DMs and they don't have to go to your beautiful funnel. Even though you've taken a long time doing that beautiful funnel, still use it, still keep it. But having this option is great when you're running ads on Instagram and people can register immediately without having to leave the platforms. Before we get started, if you don't know me, my name, like I said, is Andrea. I'm the Irresistible Experience Creator, and I help expert coaches and speakers just like you create irresistible experiences online with their businesses through virtual events and automation. So let's get started and let's go to my screen. We're here inside of Manychat, and if you haven't connected yet the channels that you want to work on, you could either do it through here where it says See Insights, that little thing here, See Insights, or at the gear in the column on the left of your screen, I assume. The little gear, it's always the settings, and you could connect the channels directly here. So let's say WhatsApp, for example, this is how it's going to show. Connect, and then you follow the steps. Now, I'm going to show you how to create a chatbot flow using Instagram DMs that collects email, names, and registers them to a virtual event or a summit or a masterclass or a workshop or a challenge, some activity. Let's get started. What we need to do is we go here to the menu. We go to the little icon that looks like the atom where it says automation. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new flow. Here's the big blue button that says new flow. Now, if you've noticed at the bottom here, I have a lot of folders, and that's how I organize everything. So if this is your first chatbot ever, you could just start here at new flow, or you can create a new folder down here at the bottom right where it says new folder. I have a lot of folders, so that's why it's at the bottom here, or it's just going to show up here on this screen. What we're going to do is we're going to click on the new flow button, and it's going to take us to this screen. I am going to show you how you could do it from scratch. I want to make it conversational, and I also want to introduce myself as the chatbot, because if this is the first time they've interacted with us, they don't even know who they're talking to. And we cannot, and this is on the terms and conditions of Meta, we can absolutely not pretend that it is us. That is against terms and conditions. We have to make sure that they know that this is an automation or a chatbot persona, not us. We are opting them in to the email channel in Manychat. Now, don't freak out. We don't have to do this. We can send the information to a Google Sheet. We could also send the information directly to an email autoresponder. Now, we have to set up that integration first. So let's go back to our lovely settings. I'm going to right click and I'm going to open on a new tab so we don't lose it. We're going to go to the settings, and if we're going to scroll down on the menu here on the left, we're going to see where it says integrations under extensions. Here on integrations, we're going to connect the Google Sheet. So you connect the Google Sheet, there's going to say connect, and then it's going to ask you what Google Sheet. So make sure that you go to Google Sheets first and create the Google Sheet for this collection of data, and you connect it to the right account. Now, for the autoresponder, we have a few that we can connect directly. If they're not on the list, we can use Zapier. I'm going to go to Zapier in just a second. We can connect our chatbots to ChatGPT and to AI so that they reply out of the chat flows that we create, and we can teach it how to respond and tell it about the topics that they can reply about only. Now, this is another tutorial for another day, and I haven't done it myself yet. As you can see, it's not even connected to my ChatGPT account, so I will create this tutorial in the future. Now, you can see that there's a green beta button at the bottom here too, so it's in beta, so it's not perfect yet. It's probably got bugs and glitches, so just have patience with it. Now, we scroll down here, we're gonna see autoresponders. Klaviyo, you can use Klaviyo or however you say that. You can use ActiveCampaign, you can use MailChimp, you can use HubSpot CRM, and you can use Convert, okay? Now, like I said, if you're not using any of these, and I'm not, I use MailerLite, we could use Zapier. So when we go to Zapier, let me go to Zapier and log in. Okay. You can use a free plan up to 100 tasks. So if you're not going to get more than 100 leads for your event, if it's going to be a small event, then you could use the free Zapier account. If not, you were going to have to upgrade, okay? Now, what we do is that we can connect Zapier with our autoresponder now. We can connect here Manychat, and then in my case, MailerLite, Classic, or MailerLite. And here it's going to give you all the options that you can use. Now I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself because I can't do the zap until I have set it up in the flow. I have set up a tag, a specific tag, because I like to use tags in this case because it's just easier. It says when this happens, so when a new subscriber, no, when a new tagged user, this is what we would use, or this one, new or updated custom field. So if there's a new custom field, when we were here and we had here, it says system field. Okay, when we remove this, there's something called custom field that we connect to our Google Sheets. So you could do it this way, or you could just add a tag. I believe it's just easier using the tag, in my honest opinion. So I will just use the tag, and then I can create and update a subscriber. And we also have conditions. When people want to unsubscribe, we can remove the subscriber from the group as well, or unsubscribe the subscriber completely. I would just do this, new tagged user to create and update subscriber. And you could do this with any autoresponder. I'm going to show you. Aweber, same. See, create a subscriber, same. Find a list, create a subscriber. I would create a subscriber, see? With Aweber, we could do also get response, new tagged user, create or update contact, or create contact. I would use create or update just in case they already subscribed and they changed their email or whatever. This is the simple SAP that we would have to create. Now, let's go back to Manychat, to the settings. If you have any of this autoresponders, ActiveCampaign or Klaviyo or all of this, you just follow here the steps, right? We connect with the API URL and the API key. And here's the how to get. You just follow this instructions, okay? Now, let's go back to capturing customer data and the flow. Let's actually go back to the flows and let's do a flow from scratch. And this is how we get started. Now, I don't want to make this a super long video, but it's a full training, so bear with me here. In the case of registration directly to virtual events inside of Instagram DMs or Messenger DMs, we want to say specific things about the event. Now, if you do a reel or a story or a post that they got a comment and the trigger, right? They're already interested in the summit, so we don't want to be redundant either. Now, what we're going to do here for the trigger, we're going to use Instagram in this case because that's the tutorial for today. And we could literally connect all this three. User comments on your live, we could do that, but we're just gonna do the trigger in this case, direct message with a keyword. Okay, we're gonna put message is because if they're talking about the summit and the message and they're already registered, it's going to trigger again. So if the message is just the keyword, it's better. Okay, now we're going to create it here. Save the bottom right. And then we're going to choose the first step, which is Instagram. Now, one thing about Instagram that on Messenger we don't have to do is that we have to ask for their name. So this is why I like to introduce the bot, because we say our name first and then ask for the person's name next. So let me write here down a message and I'll show you. Okay, now to ask for their name, we need to use this box that's called user input. Okay, and I like to divide the messages and add a little delay. So we're going to add a 3-second delay between these two messages so people can actually read it and it's not like in your face, right? I also like to break messages now so that they are more readable, and emojis. Always emojis. I love emojis and people love them too, and it tells them about your personality and what you're thinking and feeling. So emojis are 100% necessary. Now, I acknowledge that we are excited that they want to register for the summit, and we put the name of the summit here. In this case, I'm using Chatbots for Coaches Summit, which is one of my summits for example. And then I tell them the chatbot's name. Her name is Kat, short for Katerina, the bot. So here the question. It could be as simple as, what's your name? And here on the edit user input box, we're going to click on the reply type with the first name. This way, we save the first name to the system field. And then later on, we can use their name because people love to hear their name. We're going to be using their name throughout the conversation. And when they come back, we already have this saved and we don't have to ask for this again. This is just one-time thing. So we're going to do that. And if they have not responded, I like to have this. If they have not responded in 15 minutes, we're going to add another message and say, are you there? Please reply to my question above so we can get you registered. Okay. Now, once they reply, what's your name? I'm going to add a little finger pointing down because this actually tells people that they need to reply below instead of typing, please reply below, blah, blah. Now, once we have the reply from the contact, we're going to use this text box here and do another text. We're going to say, nice to meet you, or acknowledge it some way. And here in this box where it says Ask AI, the little smiley face where the emojis are, I just like to use my Chrome extension here at the top because Joy Pixels has more emojis. Here's the brackets. This brackets gives us the system field. And we just got their first name. So we're going to click here, first name. So it's going to give the name back. Nice to meet you, blah, blah. Since we need a user input text box, what we're going to do here is we're going to just copy paste. Okay, nice to meet you, blah, blah, and then an emoji. Now, here, the edit user input. Remember we talked about Google Sheets and Zapier, connecting it to the email sequence, etc., etc. Well, this is where we have to pay attention to collect the data. Now, here on the reply type, make sure that you select email. Okay, now automatically it's going to want it to save to the system field. That is the fields inside of Manychat. But since we want it to connect to Google Sheets, what we're going to do is we're going to remove this. Bam. Then we're going to save response to a custom field. And what I like to do is I like to make sure every tag and custom field is actually very specific. So when we come back, we know what this is about. No trying to be clever here. No using acronyms that we don't know about. CFC is Chatbots for Coaches. So I would do the acronyms of the summit, and then I would do email. And custom user fields or custom bot fields. We do custom user fields here. We click on new user fields. And what's going to happen is this box is going to come up. The type is going to be text. And we don't need to add a description because it's already in the name. And we could create a new folder, Chatbot for Coaches Summit, and click here on new. This is a new thing where we have folders so we can be organized. From the beginning, it's important that you are organized, because if not later, it's going to be a mess and then you're not going to be able to find things. So we're going to create it, and it's been created. Now that the custom field has been created, actually going to go to Google Sheets and create a sheet real fast. Make sure you're on the right email. In this case, I'm not in the right email, so I'm going to move to the right email. We're going to get a blank spreadsheet. We're going to call it okay, then we're going to have first name, last name, email. We could also collect phone numbers if you want. Phone. Okay. Now that we created this, and then we're going to here change the name of the sheet as well. And I like to make this bold, so we're going to do this bold. Okay. Now that we have the Google Sheet created, we're going to go here. We're going to go to actions on successful input. So what's going to happen when they put in their email in the chat conversation? We're going to click on perform actions. It's going to create this yellow box. We double click it. And now we're going to go here to action. You need a pro account for this to work. First of all, we're going to add a tag. Registered to Summit. And we're going to create it. We're going to click on enter to create the new tag, or we're going to click here on the box that says new tag, and then it's highlighted. We create the tag. The next action that's going to happen is that we're going to add it to a Google Sheet action. Select the action. We're going to send Manychat data to Google Sheets. Insert row. This is the one we're going to select. Okay, and it's getting me an error because, yeah, give me a sec. I changed my email a few days ago, so I need to reconnect it. So that's it. That's how we solve that issue. And now everything's going to pull up. So spreadsheet, we look for the spreadsheet, and I have a lot of spreadsheets. We're going to select the right spreadsheet. Make sure you select the right spreadsheet, okay? Here. Now we select the worksheet. Okay. Now you ask them for their first name, remember, right? So we're going to click here on first name. So it populates the first name. We don't have a last name in this case because we did not ask on Instagram for it. So we're going to leave it blank. And then we look for the CFS email here. And we leave the phone in blank because we still haven't asked for the phone yet. When we ask for the phone, we do the same process as what we're doing here for the email. We populate phone. Now we click here on save. Okay. Now, what's going to happen is that they're going to get the tag added, and then they're going to get triggered here on Zapier when you create the Zap. So let's create the Zap actually. So let me use my email autoresponder. So MailerLite Classic, new tagged user, and then I'm going to create update subscriber, and then I'm going to click here on try it. Now, it's going to say that the authorization is expired. Okay, so we're going to click here on reconnect the account. And this is going to pop up. It's going to ask me to connect to a Manychat account on Zapier. It has to be a pro account. Like you're noticing here, I cannot connect to the other accounts that I have here because they're not pro. So I'm going to look for the account I'm using here, which it is pro. Here it is, and Andrea. We're going to give it a minute so it authorizes. Now we click here on continue, and we're going to have that green check that everything is set up. Now what's going to happen? The trigger, we got to choose the tag that we just created. Remember the acronym of the summit plus what they did. Always set up what they did, the action, which is coach a summit, registered to summit. So we click on that tag, then we click on continue. We test the trigger, and we can't do it yet because there's no users yet. They haven't gone through the process of registering. So don't worry, breathe. You can still connect it, and we can skip the test for now. Yes, I'm skipping the test for now. Okay. And then we're going to click here on continue, and now we're going to connect the autoresponder. I just got to connect it. So basically, you got to log in to MailerLite and have it open so this happens. And I don't need the API key. But for other softwares, you might need the API key. Now that this has been created, right? Now I have a group here on my subscribers that's called Chatbot for Coach Summit. So it's right here. And this is for the first summit I created. So I could create just another group before, or another list. In this case, they're called groups, and in other places they're called lists. So I'm just going to create a new one because it's not the same. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to Zapier, click on continue, look for the list, and it says, and then we're going to look here. So we're going to look for the tag. I don't think this is in creative. Okay, it says that I need to test action, so I'm going to test action. And it was done, so now I publish it. And my SAP is published. Let me make sure. Okay, these are the details. Yeah, the details are set up. Make sure the details are set up. And now we're set up with here. So once they get the tag, they go to Zapier, and then it sends it to MailerLite, and in MailerLite I have a sequence that we create for our summit that welcomes people that they have registered and give them the next step and instructions. We go back here to the flow, and we send a message. And we say that they've been successfully registered and what is the next step. Always tell them what is the next step. What's going to happen is that they might get the email on promotions or in spam, so we got to let them know too. Okay, and we also had to put here, we promise not to spam you. Always put a disclaimer. All right, and basically this is what you do, and then we click on preview here at the top right corner. Always preview the flow. And reply to it to see if it works. And see here, it did not work. So what do? We go back and we see what the heck is going on. I think I know what the mistake is. So, let's see. No, there's no mistake. It's okay. It's been set up first name to system fields. Probably what I do need to do is I need to go to directly and test it in Instagram instead of in Manychat. So we click there, preview, and it says open Instagram and sends a direct message. Okay, so I gotta go open my phone, go to my DMs, and then I have to do it from another account. Not your account. You gotta, if you have another account, if you don't, create another account. I have a personal account and a business account, so I'm gonna use my personal account to check the business IG. So we're gonna message and we're gonna send the message 092. You can't see what I'm doing right now, but it's sending me the information, so I wanna see if it works. Oh yes, it does work. Also, we're going to see if the trigger from Zapier works. I'm going to give them my actual email here, and then we're going to go to check here in my groups. I want to refresh, and we're going to go to settings here, name our SAP. Okay, it's on. So in theory, I should get a subscriber here. Let's see if in practice it shows up. So this is how you test it. If it does not work, then we go back to Zapier and we fix it. I'm going to edit the SAP. And I'm going to test it actually now that I have myself registered. I'm going to click on test trigger. And let's say user B, Here's my email. CFC email here. Continue. 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 And here is the tag name. See, CFC registered summit. Continue. And reset action. And now we're going to publish. Okay. Now it should be working perfectly fine. We've collected the email. We got to tell them what is the next step, because this is a registration funnel for your summit or your event or your masterclass or whatever activity that you are going to have people register for. So we need to let them know, right? I would suggest that you add some type of image or GIF here. I have a folder full of GIFs. And if you don't have one, you could just go to Giphy, G-H-I-P-Y, and find one. Let's see. Allowed me some Britney Spears, so we're going to put some Britney here. Thank you for your email. We had to tell them you have been registered. We do this because we got to acknowledge what just happened so that they know that they have been registered. Now, we're going to also tell them the next step here inside of the chat funnel. so that they know what to do next. For example, if this is a free registration, then we can offer them the upgrade to the VIP package that you might have created so that you can make some income during your summit before you offer them the irresistible offer during the event or after the event. So we're going to add a delay here. It's going to be more than 3 seconds because all that message is going to take longer than 3 seconds to read. So about 8 seconds. Then we're going to add a text box here where we're going to give them the next steps and we're going to offer them so that they buy the VIP offer. Okay, now we are going to add a quick reply. Generally, I would suggest that you use buttons, but what happens is that if people press a button twice, it will trigger everything twice. So what we want is to use a quick reply. I have an option of tell me more that can get connected to a link. We could just click here for the Instagram message and then just add the link here. Make it like that, as simple as you want, or you can add the link here in the button. Open website, enter the website URL there, change the title of the button. And then we click on done. We can add emojis to the button here too if you want, and we have unlimited characters. So make sure that what you want to say, it's short and sweet and direct. The next option is not interested. We have to give them all the options because some people are just not going to be interested. So if they're not interested, then we send them to the next step. What do they have to do after they have registered to the event? In my opinion, as an event producer, the next thing we have to do is set them up on the calendar so that they have the event on their Google Calendar or on their iCalendar, and they block that time there. Then the next step, in my opinion, is we get them to register to the reminders notifications in Messenger. So that would be the next step. Now, what do we do for those who purchase the VIP ticket? Well, we also give them that option. But first, we're going to tell them that's all right. You don't have to get the VIP ticket, even if you will miss out on the networking, choose to miss out on the summit session. So it's time to add this to your calendar. Tap button below to do so. And what we can do is you could use this app called Add Events.com, Add Events. It's without an S. Add Event. This is a calendar and event tool. And you could use the free solution where you can create the calendar option. Let me sign in. Okay, I already have an account created. So what I do is I click here on Create Event, the title of the event. We select the date. So it's going to go from October 16 to October 22nd. We choose the times. So it's going to end at 6 p.m. my time. This is my time, El Salvador, but you here select wherever you're at so you have it on your time. Or what everybody does is that they have a standardized Eastern time for the timing, and then you do the conversions. Then we add a description here, and you add a description. Then the location of the event, since it's going to be online, we're just going to put here online and the website. Your information here. And you can notify users and push notifications before the event begins. I recommend to leave this, and I would do 30 minutes is a good standard. We can use a template, but we would have to upgrade if we do something else besides the standard template. Now we're going to create it. Okay, and now we're going to scroll down, and this is the link that we need to add to the chatbot and to your emails and to everywhere else. Now, this is what they're going to get, and then they're going to be able to add it to any of their calendars. So we're going to copy it here. We're going to highlight, right-click, copy. We're going to go back to the chatbot. We're going to add to calendar, and we're going to click on Open Website. And we're going to add an additional action. So if they clicked it, we have the action there, and we can use that later. Now, since these people are going to get the VIP, we go to the other message, and we want them also to add to the calendar. So we will add this information after on the thank you page once they purchase the VIP ticket, but it doesn't hurt to send a message later. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on this little bubble here that says next step. We're going to add a smart delay. We're going to say it shouldn't take people more than 20 minutes to make a purchase, so 20 minutes. Then we're going to add a next step, and we're going to assume the sale. We're going to add a button here again, because if we add the quick reply, we cannot add the link directly. So calendar, same process, additional action, and actually we could either do an additional action or we could just grab this yellow. I'm going to show you. I'm going to zoom in, this yellow button, and we're going to drag it to the action that was already created, so we don't do doubles. Okay, so this would be a simple chatbot flow registration for your summit. We get their name, their email, we connect it to Zapier and our autoresponder if it's not integrated directly on Manychat. If it is, we just follow the instructions for that. And then we acknowledge that they registered, and then we invite them to upgrade to the VIP ticket. And if they don't want to, then we invite them to add it to the calendar. If they do, we are excited. We can add another GIF here. I love Friends, so we're going to add Chandler here dancing. Now that you got the VIP ticket, it's time to add the event to your calendar so you don't miss a thing. And then we're going to add some hands looking down. Tap the button below to do so. Telling people what to do is okay. We had to show them how to use the chatbot if they've never done so, and even if they have. So now that we have completed this, we're just going to click on the button here that says live at the top right corner. And now anybody that sends you the word summit to your DMs is going to get this chatbot flow. If you want it to be in comments, on your lives, on your posts, on your stories, then we're going to duplicate this flow, and we're going to have to divide the messages because we have to have another
first message when we do this comment replies. And you can see at my other tutorials, I'm going to post them here on the corner, where you're going to see how you can create comment replies on Instagram. And that's the message that we would add before this registration flow. So that's why I encourage you to just duplicate it, add that message, change the trigger, and that would be done. So you don't have to duplicate the work.
And that's what you do to create your simple lead generation IG chat funnel. Of course, you're going to ask more questions and make it more engaging and tell them the next steps and everything like that. But this is just a simple, let's get their email and what they're going to do next chatbot flow. You could go to the messages and add a little bit more. And if you have any questions, make sure that you comment, like, and subscribe. I'm here to help out, and I will see you in the next tutorial. I hope that this was of value and that you get started with using chat funnels for your virtual events and have people register. On the next session, I'm going to show you how you can have people register to get daily notifications so that they get daily reminders of the summit and the information that you want them to receive, as well as other flows that are going to be helpful for your virtual events. I hope to see you soon. God bless you. Bye-bye.